Good morning. Back in the game with Dr. Tim West. We say in Portuguese, bom dia. What is the correct good morning where you are?
Buenos dias, buen dia, buen dia.
We have a lot of people who come to Brazil and they want to believe that they can get away with speaking Spanish. I'm like, you understand they're two different people, right? Like, you understand it's a different, that's insulting.
Yeah, Brazil is Portuguese. It's not Spanish. And hey, before you go somewhere, do a little research. How about that?
Yeah, it's like, it's that American arrogance, but that's another conversation.
Well, that's a whole nother 3, 4, 5 hour conversation.
I don't know if anybody watching now remembers when we did our, you know what I'm going to put? Hold on. I'm going to put a link to our first conversation we had when you were on the beach. No, you were on the patio.
Yep, I was in a pool at one of our rooftop bars and we did the interview from there. I remember.
Because it was with your laptop, or no, it was with your
my phone.
Yeah, it was your phone.
Oh, that was on my phone.
This is the first one we did, so if anybody wants to go back and check that out, I'm trying to figure out why comments got turned off because either I did something wrong or Facebook was like maybe this is inappropriate, or I don't know. In any case, I'm just glad it didn't get deleted.
Yeah, exactly, because Facebook is doing some very interesting things lately.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's back up. Tell everybody where you are right now.
I am in my little office here at the house in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, right here on the Riviera Maya, just enjoying the sunshine. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I have to teach most of the day, so I'm hoping I'll get a little bit of beach time in.
Well, okay. I kind of know the answer. Where are you teaching? What are you teaching?
Today I am teaching a Microsoft 365 course for some other technical professionals. I'm getting basically administrators so that they could get more experience in administrating Microsoft 365. And, you know, I've been talking about that for years and years, almost 20 years now. I have been talking about Microsoft products and using that as a conduit to being able to have the kind of work from anywhere lifestyle. So that's what we're teaching today.
If I'm not mistaken, you were trying to help people to get certified in Microsoft 365 so that it was something they could do for the laptop lifestyle.
Yeah, I was, and I still do. That is, you know, that is my passion is Microsoft 365 and really helping people get through. That's what the real passion is. So yes, I get people certified. I teach them the classes. I teach them how to get into the industry because, you know, you've got to know the points where to break in. I teach them what to say on their resume, fine tune their resume so that they could get choice positions. And, you know, right now we've got a worldwide shortage of people who are really good at administrators in Microsoft 365. So, you know, salaries are starting between 50 and 60. And if you can have 6 months experience, you can have a 6-figure salary very easily.
Okay, so I want to stop right here because something else we have to do is I'm going to bring you onto my Patreon where we talk a lot about business because I don't want to get stuck in the weeds of Microsoft 365. People come to the YouTube channel because they do a lot more enjoyment. But I'm also going to show folks my my Patreon where we go into a lot of technical speak about how we can make money.
Yes.
How we manage the lives that we. Oh, hey, 3Ds to Success says good morning.
Good morning.
That's Brother Sydney. He has a burgeoning YouTube channel, and he's going crazy with it. This is a guy that decided, you know, he came down to Brazil to do a scouting trip, and he decided. Yeah, he decided, hey, listen, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna live down here. He has several business things he's looking into, but right now he does the Les Brown speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Very familiar with it, yeah.
But for everybody who wants to know a little bit more about him, I'm going to share on the screen his YouTube channel. I want everybody to check him out too. He's a solid guy. And of course, I'm kind of biased because he displayed a level of character as a reliable workout partner. Everybody says they want to lift those heavy weights. Most people don't want to show up on time. Most people don't want to get in there. This guy came in and showed me I'm about that life.
Nice.
Now I'm kind of a meathead. I'm kind of a meathead, so I know I'm kind of biased towards that. But that strength of character, hey, most people don't have it. Most people don't have it. I'm going to endorse them.
That's what business is. It's just making sure that you consistently show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. So you've been teaching the Microsoft 365 because you're not only an administrator, but you have a coaching level education on it, right?
I do. Actually, I'm considered an architect when it comes to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So that means that I build the systems, I basically diagram the systems the same way an architect would diagram a building. And I also teach how to be an architect, how to be a developer, how to be an administrator. And those are all three completely different levels and three different skill sets when it comes to Microsoft 365.
Okay, well, that right there tells me you're going to have to come on because I want you to do some deep explaining of each level.
Okay.
How people, because this is, okay, first of all, my Patreon, I tell people all the time, less fun, more business. And I put the link, I'll put there.
Okay.
Let's see, where is it? You know, I won't go through the whole read this all on screen. I'm leaving the link there, and I want everybody to take a chance, look this over, and join for a month because this is how everybody gets the quality information on the technical aspects of what I do, what the people in the Patreon group do, how we make our money, how we travel the world, how we do a lot of those technical things that people constantly ask us questions about.
And you're a master at this, so you are definitely the one to learn this from.
Thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere.
It's the truth, though. I learn from you daily.
Being a master of this, how many things do you consider yourself having become a master of? Look at this. All right. Global Gastronome. Tell us about this website and what's going on with that.
Global Gastronome is my foodie travel company. I like to tell people that we get paid to travel the world and eat. Obviously, because of COVID, that had to be shuttered. We had to shut down our trips for 2020 and for the first half of 2021 also, because we don't know what COVID is going to do. So we're hoping to bring back the trips starting in June of 2021 this year, which will be our annual trip to Belize for the Lobster Festival. And if you've never been there, you really, really should come with us. So again, we're going to keep an eye on how the virus progresses, how Belize handles the Lobster Festival, because they did cancel it for 2020. And that's an event that we've been going to for, I don't know, almost 10 years now. In fact, the year before last at the Lobster Festival, Kevin and I were married there. So it is an event that is near and dear to our hearts, and that'll be the opening for our season for 2021. But yes, we focus on the food. We do hands-on classes in the location that we're at. We have all sorts of activities that we do when we're there. So it's a really fun time no matter where we are.
Yeah, well, I only got two things prevent. Well, one, I can't go to the other festival because I'm allergic to nuts and shellfish.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you would probably want to steer clear of the Lobster Festival.
But two, I don't know if I can hang out with you that long because do you see these games?
Yeah.
You know how you would mess up my eating plan? Do you understand? Yeah. I can't be out there just eating gravy like I was still 25.
Yeah, well, you know, our trips you would have to definitely plan for. That would have to be your cheat week because we go hard. You know, when we're in Greece, we go and make olive oil. When we're in Italy, we also make olive oil. We go to the vineyards. We make pasta, and we do this with the masters that are there. So these aren't classes that you're going to find online with a lot of the other commercial places. We're actually in someone's grandmother's kitchen, learning how to make the indigenous cuisine of the country that we're in. So yeah, I'm hoping that COVID, not just for travel, but I hope COVID makes a speedy exit and that people are spared and regain health because we really need to get rid of this pandemic.
Good morning, Niggity Poisa.
Good morning.
Kim offers architecture services. How can we find out more about the service? Well, Harvey, stay tuned here because she's going to be a guest on my Patreon and she's going to go really deep into it. So, like I tell everybody, make sure you click like, subscribe, and share because that's how this channel grows. Make sure you watch the update. This is how things go. The best thing you can do right now, Harvey, is go to there and jump on there. That's where we're going to do a lot of the things that she's talking about. Now, you said something earlier. You trigger word. You said it's also where you got married.
Yes. Kevin and I have been married now for a year and a half. We just passed that year and a half mark. We were married in this incredible ceremony in the middle of the ocean off the coast of a deserted island in Belize with a few of our closest friends. And everyone who was there, they say the wedding, it wasn't a wedding, it was an experience. We were able to get on a boat and go out to, it was literally the middle of nowhere. It had rained that morning, so the water was a little higher than it was supposed to be. And we didn't tell everyone when we got to the site. So the captain of the boat stops and he says, "Okay, everybody get out." And our friends looked at me and Kevin like, what in the entire hell is going on? But it was a great day. And the picture that you're showing is a week later because we then had a wedding in Atlanta 1 week after that.
Aren't you just special?
I know. And then in November, we got married in Bali in a traditional Balinese ceremony.
So I want everybody to follow your IG as well.
Yep, I am at Ms. Kim's World on IG. Actually, I'm Ms. Kim's World everywhere. All social media platforms, I am Ms. Kim's World. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, you got a lot of quality information.
Thank you.
The other thing is, I still go to your Global Gastronauts page because that's a page that I like. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, here's another one right there.
We're going to do a little bit more development on that one. In fact, I've just hired a VA to help me with developing that a little bit more.
Great minds think alike. Interestingly enough, I got an introduction to a woman here in Brazil who is a social media special person. And she went to my Instagram and she said, "Okay, here's what you need to do." And she showed me how to chop some things a little differently and present myself better.
Yeah.
And
it's very important. Yeah.
Salmon and avocado. What is that on top of the avocado?
That's a very good question. I don't know what's on top of that one. It's probably some kind of dressing.
I'll tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with avocado because here in Brazil, interestingly enough, did you know in Brazil, avocados are considered a fruit?
It is a fruit. Most people don't know that. It's a vegetable.
Yeah. And I'm the worst at my avocado timing. So all my avocado, I tend to use as a spread or in dressing because you know how you have to have that perfect, like, to be able to cut it. I'm terrible at it. It's like my avocado will go from hard. Oh, stuck my finger through it.
Yeah, exactly. Avocado timing is an art. Oh, that's funny. And, down here we buy avocados. I mean, avocados are everywhere. So they're like 19 cents. They're 19 cents a kilo right now, which is insane. But the avocado, you get a whole bag of them and God forbid that you get the bag and they're all hard when you get them. And you want them to ripen at different times, but they all get ripe at the same time. So you have 8 avocados where you either have to eat them right now, or you have to make guacamole, or you have to throw them away. Although I did have a very good dish the other day, which was a charred avocado and charred cherry tomatoes with olive oil and balsamic vinegar and just diced anchovies on it.
Wow. And people, we're talking about real anchovy fish, Not that nasty junk that comes out of a can in the United States.
No, real anchovies. Because we're right here by the water. So real anchovies that came out of the water, and they were diced, and they had been soaked in lime juice and some other spices. It was heavenly. So I think I'm going to have to try and recreate that one very soon.
Wow. Well, what you said about avocados ripening at different rates, I'll give you an example of something that I learned here in Brazil. When I went to the market, because one of the things that I used to learn Portuguese was shopping for food because I eat a lot. And so I had to figure out, coins, money, and weight and kilos. But something else that they taught me, interestingly enough, I'll put the link here. They also taught me that when I buy fruit, everything from bananas to avocados, they ask you, okay, say you're going to buy 6. How many hard and how many soft?
Oh, that's great. They don't do that here necessarily. I literally have a fruit market diagonal from my house, just a half a second walk almost. And I like going there because the fruit is almost always ripe when I get there. So I don't have to put it on the counter and wait for it to ripen or anything. And on the right day, you can actually smell the pineapples. They're so ripe. You can smell the pineapples across the street, and it's just so fragrant.
And
so
you see
the local fruit markets
on the top left. I call her my spice girl because she has 3 or 4 tables with just every spice you can think of, and she can make any blend that you want. Life is good.
That's the great thing about traveling, is being able to do that. And I've done that. I mean, here in Mexico, you can do that. Just all over Latin America, all over South America, all over, Africa and Morocco. I know Africa is the continent, Morocco is the continent, Morocco is the country, but the spice markets in Morocco are incredible. The spice markets in Bali, the spice markets in Thailand, huge mounds of the stuff, and everything is so fragrant, and they allow you to taste as you go through. So you can determine, what do you want dinner to taste like tonight? And you can go through and get those exact spices.
Well, you said something, you said a couple of things that kind of triggered part of what I wanted to dig into. I saw you on Facebook the other day.
Right.
And when you were on Facebook, you were talking about how you get a lot of the same questions that I get. You constantly get the, hey, how did you do that? Hey, how did you do that? Hey, how did you do that? And so you decided to do something. And by the way, do you mind if I share your Facebook?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. But yeah, we get those questions. Hey, how did you do that? How did I open a restaurant? Because I've been a restaurant owner. How did I build a technology consulting firm? Because I've built 2 to 7- and 8-figure status. How did you build a travel company? How did you move out of the country and you seem to be living the life of your dreams and doing all of this incredible things and having all of these experiences? How do you do that? You and I both get those questions all the time.
But you took it one step further. You started talking about what day is it supposed to be, your presentation?
Saturday. It's this Saturday from 12 to 4.
So from 12 to 4, you decided to put, and I want to preface this because I do have a lot of people who ask rightfully, Kim didn't give me anything to say this. Nobody gives me anything to advertise them. If they do, I would tell you. But Kim decided to do how to have a kick-ass 2021.
And I put it in that container because that's a container that people can really digest. But it's really going to be 4 hours of how do you just build a kick-ass life? How do you step up to the plate and just build a kick-ass life?
Yeah, but here's the part that got me. You said you were doing it for free. Now, I personally have an allergy to that word. I have a hard time saying it without itching because I came up through, the game is sold, not told. That's an old-fashioned way of doing it. But you did how to have a kick-ass 2021, and you're just going to give these people 4 hours of your precious time, which to anyone who understands the value of time, that's your most asset. Why did you decide to do this?
Well, I'll be honest. There's obviously, I'm a capitalist, so there's an offer at the end of it to go deeper and dive deeper.
I feel so much better now.
Look, you're talking to the daughter of an accounting and an economics professor, so it's just like, no, not everything is free. But the thing is that there are certain things that you need to get started. And with COVID and all of the other craziness that we went through in 2020, this is partially my way of giving back and saying, look, okay, we went through hell. Let's break off the chains, just shake off the chains, and let's try to make some changes in our own lives. Instead of living that life that you were given and you're just kind of like doing everything that society and everybody else told you to do, what is it that you want to do? So let's get moving in that direction, because clearly this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only chance that we get at this that we know of. So you better make it a good one.
So at the bottom, you've got the
Yep. All of the
I can't promise you $1 million to move to Bali, but I can promise you this. What was that? I can't promise you you'll make $1 million or move to Bali, but I can promise you this. With my C3 REAM framework, you'll be on your way to having your best year ever and creating the life you love. How much is that worth to you? Warmly, Kimberly. Isn't that so cute?
It's so cute, but it's accurate. And what I'll be teaching on Saturday are basically the steps that I've gone through in reinventing myself countless times. That's one of my superpowers, is being able to reinvent myself when needed. And that dovetails into how I've built this crazy life. And I say sometimes I have a life that some people would kill for. I've done a whole bunch of things. I know a whole lot about a whole lot, but I also know what I don't know. So yes, you're absolutely right. The free webinar is a great lead magnet. And this is going to be substantive, actionable information. So I'm not going to like get up to the red line and just stop and leave you hanging. What I give you on Saturday, you will be able to implement immediately. But the thing is, you got to put in the work.
Exactly. And it's when you said reinvent yourself, a lot of people don't get that. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Thank you so much, Sydney. You just reserved your spot. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Now, I also want to say this about you and Sydney. I hope that you two also get a chance to connect, because, like I said, Sydney is someone who I endorse.
Okay, that says a lot.
Yeah, both of you are people that, well, here's the thing. I don't bring anybody here if they're not someone that I believe in. I don't have those kind of relationships. I'm fortunate that I'm going to say something that is a lie. Okay. I don't necessarily need the money that much to take offers to advertise people who are not someone I would want to be with. I know people that just make any kind of deal that they want in the beginning of their reputation, and by the end, nobody trusts them because they know, well, this guy will just take the money.
Yeah. No, there's definite follow-up. And Jason, you're absolutely right. Mexico is the most slept-on country. You can live as a foreigner, you can live as an American. I am a legal resident of the country of Mexico. And in fact, I spent half of yesterday with my attorney. I have, and we've talked about this, I have several businesses that my husband and I are opening here in Mexico. Some real estate deals going on. In fact, one just came up yesterday that is so hot, I gotta jump on it. So we have decided that this is going to be our home for the foreseeable future. So we've got a lot going on here in Mexico.
Oh, you late to the party. I figured out that the game was that hot in Brazil, and I was like, nope, I'm not.
Yeah.
A bunch of different countries, but I decided, hey, for me, Brazil is it.
Yeah.
They have so many, but see, you like hard assets. I like soft assets. I like liquid money. I like my cryptocurrency. I like all those things. By the way, you said something when you talk about reinventing yourself. There is a book that I want everyone, and anybody who doesn't have this book, I want you to message me at YusefWateef@gmail.com. if you want this book, let's see. Let's see, where is it? You talked about reinventing yourself. And that is something that one of my favorite books, 48 Laws of Power. Okay.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My copy, my hard copy of the book is dog-eared and weathered, and the binding is all cracked because you have to read it over and over again.
And mine is, see, I have it digital. I have all my stuff on PDF, so I can just go back. And I'm going to put it here.
Very important book. But reinventing yourself is a necessary skill that we all need to develop. You get involved in situations, life changes, economies change, social constructs change. You absolutely need to be able to reinvent yourself, change your life up, change yourself up to fit the situation that you're in. You have to be a chameleon.
But what did he say right here? That's one of the core concepts he talked about.
Yep, recreate yourself.
Recreate yourself.
And it's the first line, do not accept roles that society
for you. Here we go. How come I can't keep losing my... In any case.
Yes.
Let me make that bigger. There.
There you go.
Do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. And
I use portions of the 48 Laws of Power in my trainings. And that's a big one. Recreate yourself. I call it reinvent, but recreate yourself.
That's one of the books. I have a lot of guys that come to me they hire me as a mentor and a coach. And I've got about 6 books. I tell them I'm only going to work with you for 6 months. If after 6 months I can't help you, either you're the wrong student or I'm the wrong teacher, but I'm not in the business of cranking you for money like a psychologist for years out of your life. That's one of the 6 books. I tell them, step 1 is you're going to read 1 book per month for 6 months. And that's one of the books. That's one of the books. Look at that. That's interesting because all of my coaching programs, the longest one is 6 months. And as you said, I'm not interested in trying to pump you for money indefinitely. What I want to see is a transformation in your life or in your business. That's what the goal is. The goal is not for me to, suck your bank account dry. So we have 3-month programs, we have 6-month programs. If you really need me to go on past 6 months in the intensive programs, like you said, either I'm not the right teacher or you're not the right student. So yeah, you're right. 6 months is about the cap. That's what you need. Yeah, because I know people that, by the way, I'm not a therapist. I am not a psychologist, but I have found, at least with men, there are very few problems that other men haven't figured out how to deal with. Now, maybe the language has to be different, and maybe you have to have it spoken to in a way that's easier for you to digest. But when you really figure out those things that you need, it's not hard. And in 6 months, you can change your life in a way that I've scared people by how much they've changed their life. Exactly. 6 months. I mean, how long does it take for your brain cells to regenerate themselves? 1 or 2 months? I have to go back to the medical text. But in 6 months, heck, in 3 months, you can affect such a huge life change. You can be a completely different person, have a completely different profession, live in a completely different atmosphere. There's so much that you can change in 3 months, 6 months. Hell, there's so much you can change in a day, which is why this workshop is 4 hours. There's an opportunity for significant change in the 4 hours, in 1 month, in 3 months, in 6 months. And that's something a lot of people don't really catch. Yes, but you have to put in the work. And that's usually where people falter, is putting in the work. Yeah. This doesn't happen through osmosis. Yeah. It's not an automatic change. You have to put in the work. You have to want it more than I want it for you. And a lot of people, it's kind of like the gym. I tell people all the time, they're like, hey, I really want to be in shape. And I'm like, well, it's actually, I use the phrase, it's not complicated, but it is hard. Like getting it. And by the way, I'm not the man I was at 25 when I was just a monster. But I can get in the ring. I can stand up on any 43-year-old man and say I'm in a top 10 physique. But here's the kicker: people want to believe that easy and not complicated are the same thing. Disciplined weightlifting and saying I'm going to not eat candy. I'm not going to drink liquid calories. Like this is my tea with sugar-free sweetener. I drink 5 or 6 liters of water every day. Those things aren't complicated, but they are hard.
Yes.
You know, and you got to know where your weaknesses are. Like I would have to really get my life together to come and hang out with you for a week because I know it would just be a train wreck. I would just go to sleep with gravy on my mustache. You know, wake up to eggs Benedict on some fresh biscuit. Like, no, stop, no, baby. Okay, I'll eat another one.
Well, here's the thing that thank you so much, Jason. It takes 90 days for your brain cells to regenerate. That exactly. So every 90 days, basically, you have a new brain. If your brain can regenerate itself in 90 days, you can definitely reinvent yourself in 90 days. So Jason, thank you for doing that research for us. And you know this, Yusef, from living outside the United States, even though we're traveling to all of these countries and we're eating and we're doing all these things, because of the difference in the food supply, we have found that people don't really gain weight. They don't really wreck their diets on our trips. I remember one trip we were in, and I'll bring up Greece again. We were in Greece and we ate everything in sight. I wound up losing 5 pounds when I was on that trip, as opposed to gaining the weight that I thought I was going to gain. We were eating bread with olive oil, and we're eating, oh my goodness, all of this incredible Greek food. And yeah, I wound up with a weight loss instead of a weight gain. So it's not wrecking your diet as bad as you might think.
Were you really self-conscious about it?
No, actually, because when I'm on one of our trips, I just say, look, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and I know I can make up for it later on. But if I know that I'm going to be on a calorie-laden trip, sometimes I'll try to drop weight before I go, so that that way, at least, you know, when I come back, I know at least I'll be on, you know, some kind of an even keel. But Greece and South Africa is another place where we go. When we go to South Africa, I lose weight in South Africa, and I eat everything I possibly can, drink the best wines I can possibly get my hands on. So it's really, you know, how you are taking in the food, where you're taking it in from, and we're also very active on our trips. So there's activity going on our trips.
The 2190 rule.
There you go. 21 days to create a habit, 90 days to create a lifestyle.
You know, a lot of people. Oh, what you said about, oh, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I miss you. When are you going to come back and hang out with me on my channel? Now, what you said about food, again, here in Brazil, one of the most famed regions is called the Minas Gerais region. They call it Minas. And this right here,
oh man,
vaca atolada. It comes in a cauldron. And
yes.
It's ribs with spices and herbs. And when they serve it to the table, it's like that. It's boiling. You have to actually
wait for it to cool.
Get your rice, get your everything else on the plate first, because this right here, again, this is, if you catch me eating something like this for lunch, that means I have probably put myself in a situation where I don't have to actually do any more work that day, because you might need a nap afterwards.
Gotcha.
Like you might need a nap afterwards, because it's not something you're going to do that and then hit the gym.
That looks delicious. Oh my goodness.
Awesome. I will put the link here for anybody who wants to.
Please do. Now you're going to make me fly down there just I shouldn't say that. After COVID, you're going to make me fly down there just to get a bowl.
There we go. A bowl. And see, that's the thing. The way the portions are out here, justifiable. You should be able to feed 3 to 4 people with that. But with me and my meathead friend, that's like 2 people will split that for lunch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let me stop looking at that. She said, I believe that a healthy lifestyle is essential for a healthy mind. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Plenty of fresh air, plenty of clean water, plenty of fruits and vegetables. Make sure you're active, get moving. It absolutely is. And the difference in your mind as opposed to when you're not active, when you're not doing all of those things. It's night and day.
Good morning, Alton. Thanks for showing up.
And good morning, Raining Woman. I love that.
And let's see, he said, I tell people to eliminate the word easy from the vocabulary when it comes to making changes in their life. Yep.
Place easy when necessary and remove the word can't.
There you go.
Remove that word. You may have to defer something, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. And that's one of the crazy things that my dad used to tell me, because at one point when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, I decided one summer that, hey, I want to raise chickens.
Okay.
So I went and I found a source of really good baby chicks, and I started raising my own chickens and Cornish hens for eggs as well as for meat. So I'm one of those chicks that can, I can field dress a deer and I can slaughter a chicken and skin it too. So but I started doing that, and my father and some friends of mine were like, you are absolutely insane. What made you think that you could go out and raise your own chickens and have your own meat and all of this other stuff? I said, what made me, there was nothing to say that I couldn't. I wanted to do it. I wanted the experience. So I did the research. I went and got my chickens. I raised them. I ate them. I had the eggs, and okay, now I know what it's like. But I have to admit, I'm ready to go. I got to find a place that's large enough, but I'm ready to start raising chickens again, because raising your own meat is the difference in taste is significant.
Yeah. Tay, quick acknowledgement. You said, how the city of São Paulo reacted to the second wave in major lockdowns? São Paulo, Brazil is doing their best not to become the next America. Let me tell you what they did. We don't have lockdowns in Brazil, but the day before and the day after Christmas, as well as the day before and the day after New Year's, all businesses that were not hospitals, pharmacies, or restaurants that could only deliver food, because they put you in a situation where now you can leave, but there's no place to go. There are no parties that were allowed. São Paulo, Brazil, we've had this conversation. São Paulo is an amazing city, but right now they're in a situation where they have all the social stuff that we normally can do all the time, all the art galleries, the museums, the restaurants that I would go to listen to jazz while I'm having a cup of coffee. All that is gone because they are not taking those kind of chances. I made the mistake the other day of walking down the street, talking on my phone, and I was putting my mask on to walk into a padaria, which is kind of like a bakery deli. But I didn't have it completely on when I walked in. I thought the waitresses were going to murder me in the face. Get back outside and put that mask on. You do not come out. And it was like almost on my ear. They were not playing.
And that's the complete opposite of how it is here. Because I'm sure you know that, every American and a whole bunch of Europeans have come down here and people are not wearing masks. Therefore, our COVID rates are going up. Riviera Maya is still on the federal level, we're in the red, but on the local level, we're in the yellow, because the governor makes the determination as to whether or not we're in red or yellow. But our numbers are going up. Mexico City is on lockdown because their numbers have gone through the roof. There are no precautions of anybody coming to Mexico. So you don't need a COVID test in order to come into Mexico. So it's like Atlanta and Georgia right now. It's just wide open. New York has got the 14-day quarantine. Los Angeles does. Georgia probably needs to do something like that because the numbers there are going crazy. But yeah, we need to be a little bit more vigilant about what we're doing with this around this virus.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I stay at home. I go to the beach, I socially distance, and I go to the beach, I come straight home. Instead of going out 3 times a week, now I only go out maybe 1. Other than that, I'm in the house.
I lead a privileged lifestyle here in that I can have literally everything I want delivered to me if I want it.
Oh yeah.
Do I still go to the market sometimes? Yeah. Do I go to the outdoor market? Sure. Do I stay in the house all the time? No. But we're reacting differently. We have different protocols. It's just, I'm not, for example, going to go. I know some people that have underground New Year's parties. Hey, you want to come tonight? No, I do not. And don't talk to me for about a month or two afterwards.
There was nothing underground about the New Year's Eve parties here. People were, Fifth Avenue was packed wall to wall, almost like it would normally be in Times Square for New Year's Eve. That's how packed Fifth Avenue was. And I know that because they have the webcams and I saw the pictures. People were having parties and they were completely unmasked at these parties. So, you know, there was a Burning Man type event down in Tulum that became a super spreader event. People take this stuff seriously. If not for yourself, then possibly the people in your household and the people that you may be around, because, you know, it's real and people are sick, people are dying. Yusef, you and I have some mutual friends that unfortunately have been infected and fortunately are in recovery. I've got a few friends that have had it twice.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So for those reasons, I am very selective about when I go out, where I go, and who I'm with. And for the most part, I stay at home. But I like my house, so it's not a problem to stay at home. But I do go back and forth between here and the United States. And, you know, I take the necessary precautions to do that. So when I arrive in the US, I quarantine myself for 14 days. When I arrive here in Mexico, I quarantine myself for 14 days. Either way, I'm staying away from people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Almost at a loss for words. Thank you, Omega.
How you doing, Omega Dreads? I know that this virus, this illness, has been politicized in a way that it's difficult. Oh, he survived it. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult to articulate because, and I had this conversation, I may go into it deeper at another time. The politicization of it is that a lot of the people who are advocating for things not to be closed, it's a difference between being an owner and a worker. The owners, the people who can generate their income from their sofa, we don't have to go out in the street. So we can instruct our employees to.
Right.
Capitalism is a nasty animal, but the reality is business owners don't want business to close for any reason because it's not them or their immediate family that's going to be at the checkout counter.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
You know, and these are conversations that are extraordinarily difficult to have. You and I understand the concept of being a business owner. The majority of people don't. I'm not telling you what they're doing is right, but I'm also saying I understand. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm fortunate that my business is based on the internet. So my staff, all the things they do for me virtually. But I understand the privilege I have of saying I own a business that allows me the privilege of just never leaving my house. So I can understand why people would say, well, I'm just going to ask my staff to do it. Because, and this is something we can have a chat with another day, to become a business owner, you have to think in a way that the average person can't. Everyone talks about their take to be a business owner. Most people really aren't willing to do the things to win.
And exactly. You have to put the work in. You have to do the things that are necessary. So yeah, that you're right. That is definitely a conversation, a much deeper conversation for another time. But you're right. Most people do not think as business owners. And you know, we can debate the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur at a different time.
Yes, I was about to say something, and then I realized yes, listen. Yeah. I gotta run, and I know you got to get your day started. Let's do this. Are there any words you want to say to sign off with for everybody? I shared for anybody who came in late. Go to the beginning. Go to the beginning comments. I gave you all her information on where to follow her. What do you want to tell them?
What I want to tell them is that you can live the way that you want to live. You just have to have a construct, a guide, and put the work in. And that's really all that it takes. Put the work in, be consistent, and you'll get the results that you're looking for.
Yeah. Amen. Well, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye to them. Can I ask you to stay behind the screen with me for a minute?
Sure.
All right, everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That's really important. That's how this channel grows. You know, YouTube is not promoting my channel, but you guys have helped me grow tremendously. Thank you all for the support and for the participation. I love you all, and I want everybody to stay. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a long conversation. Yes.
Absolutely. That's why government's taking advantage of that. That's a different conversation. All right, y'all. Before we get into